Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThATuMBRELLAgUy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me. I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me. I'm a man.
You know what? I talk to your man.
Stomping the floppy shoes so hard, it'll lead to class delirious. You praying to stop so much, it's like you're having a religious experience. Despite all of your denials, I know that you know me and your crew. Ask your girl the last time she phoned me. Allegedly, just admit that even now you sing along. And even after I wreck you, you gotta bump my song. You should copyright loser because the dictionary cloned you. Crushed so hard, now my cleats own you. It's that umbrella guy, clutching the verbal hammer, locking you down in this inescapable syllable slammer. You wanna step up and try to oppose me? Yeah, you should ask anyone that really knows me. I'll take your blame, your girl, your dog, and move in your home, only to get out the verbal flamethrower and consume your plastic gnomes. You trip, you whip, you ride, your pride consumed by this mic hitter, just to drop them on the market to the highest bidder. It's that umbrella guy, live from the hat rack, with elbows that hit so hard you'll think it's a nuclear impact. I mean respecting you, please, that's the word you'll never earn. Yet another lesson you clowns have never learned. Along with standing tall in pride and repping values that you feel, and not fake morals you found inside your happy meal. I listen to you with your speaking style education, wondering if your parents bred with their relations. Wearing your big red nose and still thinking that you're a star, while you're forced to bump that umbrella guy inside your clown car. Yeah, it's that umbrella guy, broadcasting live to the masses. Timing out full, sorry we ran out of free passes. We gotta go further and not just expose you. Listen and believe royalty, we gotta depose you. Getting masked up because this flow is criminal. Dropping hammers so hard, they're subliminal. Unconsciously you want me to own you, as the parasol pope is set to dethrone you. And I'm out.
What's up, folks? Man, I'm down here in the corner. It threw me off for a second. I was like, wait, where am I? You know, it's a funny day when you're like, wait, is that me on the screen? There. Oh, look, I'm moving. Oh, no, I'm getting bigger. Oh, look, I'm getting closer. That's so funny. Oh, hey, how's it going, folks? I hope it is going great for you today. Man, we have an interesting show lined up. I've found out some fun stuff that is going to be taking place this weekend. Oh, my goodness, there's a lot. There's a lot. Also, I read through the Marla filing You know, I sat down and read it, and it's strange to file something that it doesn't really talk about anything specific to yourself, which is, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of odd. You know, when you file something, you want to argue how the case has no merit. Okay, well, you can, I guess, argue that isn't a broad overview, but you really want to argue, I shouldn't be part of this case because, you know, there is no merit to include me in this crap, you know, because you take it apart that way. But the Marla filing is more of a, oh, it's a mess. There's also something else too that I thought was interesting. So give me 1 minute. Somebody posted this. Let me pull this up here. Okay. So apparently this came up yesterday when they screenshot it. I can't remember who posted this. I just commented on it too. It's over on Facebook. Give me 1 minute. I'm trying to remember. It was on Otter Creek, Florida, Shady Bunch. It was, I'm going to say, in case you don't want your name thrown out there. Well, I mean, your name is actually in public for this, but I'll just say JA posted this. And this is kind of interesting. Give me 1 minute now. Let me pull this up here. This was apparently, it was brought up yesterday. Redacted already, but and excuse the blur to it too, you know. Sometimes, by the way, let me note for anyone that screenshots out there, if you use it depends on how you screenshot. When you watch YouTube anyway, make sure that your YouTube is giving you the best quality picture, especially if you use your phone. I mean, okay, so if you click on, I'm just going to note this for people because a lot of people don't know this. If you click on the image and you go up, there's a gear in the top right-hand corner on your phone, right? If you click on that gear and you look, the first thing will be quality. Quality is oftentimes set to whatever is whatever the phone feels is the best for the phone. So sometimes your quality is mud and you don't really know that. I especially find that to be true with myself, you know, since I grew up in a time before 1080p. So when I see a lower quality of something, sometimes I'm like, you know, doesn't really faze me. I watch some pretty awful movies sometime and it doesn't really faze me. But make sure that it always broadcasts to that. When you screenshot too, you can, a snipping tool does very well. Also, I mean, you can get a good one just by wave, you know, just by waving your hand or hitting two buttons and taking your screenshot. But a snipping tool does very good too. You know, and maybe it showed up this way anyway. Maybe that's the issue with the person that broadcast it. I don't know. I'm just saying, you know, a lot of people don't realize that the quality on YouTube is it's not set to the best. You have to set it yourself to the best. So just making sure, folks. Now, on this here, you'll notice this is about the retainer cost. And I thought that this was kind of, I guess, interesting because this is talking about the LP lawyer. Now, interestingly, this is only for LP. The customer, it notes anyway, is just LP. Doesn't say LPJC. And it uses customer, which typically, I don't know, maybe it's just a shitty freaking piece of paper. But typically, in most things, you call people clients. You know, when I also noticed this isn't an entire down payment. Just to note, okay, this is an entire payment. Rather, this is a retainer fee. All right, the retainer fee. Typically, I mean, again, maybe they have something worked out, but typically, when you're given the retainer fee is for X amount of work. X amount of hours that you have this expectation of, you know. So it's, I don't know. There's a lot of interesting little dillies in here. I'm curious. You know, you think about this. If a lawyer works for $200, let's just say they work for $200 an hour, right? What do you think they get done in 30 hours? How much research and how many documents do they get done in 30 hours? Because that would exhaust this entire thing. Unless, again, you're going the Stark route. And my God, I mean, again, people, even if I hate a person, I do not want them to go out and get garbage reputation. I like to watch skilled lawyers throw down too. You know, a lawyer with a good mind for something. I like to see that. I don't like seeing puppet lawyers. Like Stark was a puppet. I have no idea how they thought that would work out. That was stupid. And this, I mean, $6,000 for a case. If they're trying to sell that this is going to be the end all total, that's not good. You're going to end up with something that, let's just say that you probably don't want at the end of the day. You know, when you're buying your lawyers, you want them to be skilled, you know. Man, give me a minute here. Give me 1 second. I've got to take something. I'm feeling off a little bit today. Today has been a weird day. Sinus and everything else throw me off too. So give me a minute. I hate taking meds. Give me 1 minute here, like I said. It's been with the weather and everything else. It gives me all kinds of weird problems. But, okay, here we go. $6,000 though. I mean, again, this was, I'm glad they redacted some stuff, but we'll see what happens with it. They have 14 days to raise $6,000. They should be able to raise it. In fact, they have money locked away. So I don't, yeah, is that a real farm? We don't know. We have no idea anything about it. We also don't know when the thing comes in. We don't actually know if there's any legitimacy behind any of it anyhow, you know? I mean, somehow LP got lawyer retainer money. Wow, they have been fishing in their biggest donor. By the way, I was curious, so I told them I'd talk about that, you know, or they said this was okay to mention. So, you know, the person that made the videos about Only Me, the only one that has actually had the stones to actually stand up and really have any backbone through everything. Yeah, I've kind of been talking to them a little bit, just trying to understand. You know, they don't like me. You know, they make it very clear they don't like me. That's okay. You know what? I will talk to anybody to understand something. And honestly, you never have to like me. You don't. I will talk to anyone except Bruce. I won't talk to Bruce. He doesn't deserve my time. Actually, I take that back. I wouldn't talk to Paint Chips or any of his crew because there's a certain detestability to all of that. You know, those clowns. Nah. Bruce was just funny. And again, like the 2L crew, all that crap. These people are not good faith. There has to be a stamp of good faith with it. But I've been curious about a few things. I've been curious about what this madness with that donor was. And also really about some of the Stupid Dave stuff that's come up there. You know, he wanted to bury that person. He absolutely wanted to blame every eel that has ever come up in the ecosystem on that specific person. He wanted to point the finger at them and say, they're the fault, not any of us. We didn't do anything wrong. And to me, again, that's kind of amazing when you see it. Because regardless of whether you like something, there are certain people out there that I think are actual believers. You know, they believe that Jeremy Hales is somehow in the wrong, that Lynette Preston and John Cook are somehow in the right, and they go with that. And that's fine. You know what? You want to hate me for that because you don't like my or you don't like somebody? Cool. You know, it's YouTube. We're not making friends. I'm not here to make friends. You know, I cover stuff. And if I make friends along the way, cool. But I'm not here to make friends. But I can respect it when somebody, again, sticks to their guns, you know. So that's been some really interesting discussion, you know, to find out. It's not just them, first of all. There are many people in the ecosystem that have been turned off by a lot of insanity that has come up by the continual shittiness that is that I guess is accelerated. It's not just, it doesn't just pervade, but it's like it gets worse and worse. The type of people that come in, a lot of people don't want to be connected to that. That doesn't bother their root thinking, you know, whoever. And again, in a case, you're allowed to have your own thoughts about it. That's your business. But certain people, okay, so I put this on denying reality. I put that as part of the thing. You know, when I talk about someone like that versus, so Ray apparently yesterday was saying things like paint chips had never been to prison. That's not real. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Have you ever looked the name up? You know, all you got to do is look up the name in headlines. The judge, what happened there is right there. The denial of reality at that level is crazy to me. It is crazy. Like I do not understand how you can go to that level where you deny reality. That stuff, that is madness. I mean, can you imagine that? Like where you again are willing to just flat out ignore the reality of something. Give me a minute here too. Yeah, but people are saying $6,000. Again, they had to get their well back in line. Like, that's why I bring that up. Was it paid off? Sure. But, you know, also, because that's this one person, their hate boner for Jeremy Hales, I don't understand the very beginning of what caused that. But their big donor, oh, yeah, I'm not surprised. And again, you know, as far as litigation is concerned, people should have lawyers. You should not be pro se. You shouldn't be. You know, you want people to win on the merits of their case. And Bruce, for me, for the federal case, he did enough damage on the federal case already. On case one, that Lynette and John Cook, they have a pretty big problem in that. But yeah, I mean, like I said, they had to get their big liner, their pocket liner. They had to get him. They had to get him back in line. And it's just funny. It's kind of, like I said, it's kind of sad. But I was curious about that fallout because I wanted to understand it. And maybe that'll be our topic Sunday. You know, we have a bunch of topics that need to come up Sunday, by the way. So here's a big topic that's a headliner here. You want to hear something really, really good that's coming, apparently. So I was curious because I've been wanting to know about I've been wanting to know about the mole, you know, the mole. Well, there were a couple of statements in there. First of all, I think there have been more than one mole, first of all right? I actually think there have been, just this the way this subject comes up. But the mole, we will be finding out about on Sunday. We will indeed. Not here. Apparently, Hale's. Like I said, I was curious. I really want to know about the mole thing. I want to know what came up with talks or discussion, like how this stuff came in together. Who essentially was betraying, offering to betray, whatever. You know, I'm curious about that. And yeah, I guess we're going to find out Sunday. So anybody have any guesses on who that's going to be? I thought that would be one that we really wanted to hype up because that's when I've been dying. You know, they've been telling us that nobody in their group would sell any of them out, and we know that's not true. By the way, we know, and I'm talking about the main folks. I'm not talking about like a person that gets annoyed after what they see. You know, going back and again, not tying these two subjects together, but talking about how the willingness for this main crew to fuck over anyone over petty nonsense. Remember that that Miyagi that made videos and stuff, they paid 900 Australian bucks to pay off something. They did that. They paid off quite a bit. And when I see their videos as of late, they seem not happy with the way things are. And the ecosystem, instead of being like, well, you know, like for me, okay, if somebody doesn't like me, I'm like, all right, whatever, you know, that's good to go. As long as, you know, and again, if you're like a doxing piece of shit, that doesn't count. You know, that's different. But just some random person out there, who cares, man? But if they've been somebody that's helped you out, put your channel out there, you know, helped you along the way, there's a decent way to do it. And then there's the other way to do it, like the stupid Dave way to do it, when you're like, nope, that person's to blame for every evil thing that happens. You know, they're just a disgruntled mod. They're just it's like, are you kidding me? You know. But all of that was to get their big whale in place. They were willing to burn somebody, one of the people that did pay for stuff. And I know that because they mentioned it in a video prior to this. You know, I saw that. I was like, man, you know, that to me, that's crazy. How many people are littered along that, you know? But when people are like, yeah, they paid that off. Well, it's either one of the ecosystem clowns, one of the main ones that paid it off, or it's probably their big donor, because their money hasn't been rolling in as of late. They haven't really been able to strengthen down those numbers. You notice they keep bringing in crazier and crazier people, but the amount of money flashing on that screen, it's not good for them, you know. So, but we will be finding out about at least one of those folks. We'll be finding out about that situation. I ask, you know, is that something discussable? Because when I ask too, I know I'm like, hey, this will be something, you know, if you answer that question, this is something I'm going to freaking discuss there. He's like, oh yeah, it's that Sunday. That should be really entertaining. Wait until the fireworks. I am looking forward to seeing who offered who up for what, you know. Oh my God, man. Speaking of all of that stuff too, actually, I wanted to cover a video today. I actually want to cover something. You know, we were talking yesterday about John Cook and the madness, and give me a second. Hale's put up a video about the air. Now, again, I play Shara videos. I've got to catch her video. We really need to talk about that one. That's got a lot of goods in it, a lot of good stuff. Also, go and check that video out. Make sure the Shara video, Shara Wolf. You want to see it? It's got a lot of good screenshots. This one, though, with Hale's, I watch what I myself can't observe. You know, he was the only party that really I would trust to say anything about what happened in the hearing that came up. You know, we had to. If you didn't know, for some reason, there was a hearing and an order that dropped yesterday You know, it added a couple of weeks. It said, hey, you know, can they get a lawyer? I have this feeling here that we're going to see a lot more BBB filings with a front person. I get this in my head again. $6,000. If that is not a complete cost, then okay. But if it was advertised like it would pay off a lawyer, $6,000 ain't crap, man. Because I wonder, we're going to get another Stark with some other people that are quote unquote helping out. Oh, what a clown show. What a clown show. All these people trying to build their life and livelihood off this dude here. So we're going to look at what happened yesterday at that hearing. We like I say, we have two documents. That we have the Marla document and we have the Helm document that we've not looked over. The Helm document is much better. It still has issues in it. I talked about this a little bit last night. It is an anti-SLAPP filing. I 100% agree with going anti-SLAPP. That would be the way to go. That means you're arguing, hey, I have the ability to say this because of free speech. You know, this is my argument. Anything you bring up, A, B, and C, that would be the way to go. You know, that's the argument that you would want to use. Marla's argument is it's very broad. And it doesn't look at anything. Again, if I were arguing, I would bring up things that pertain specifically to me. I wouldn't say this lawsuit sucks, essentially, and here's why. I would go down that rabbit hole and be like, look, this is why specifically this doesn't include me whatsoever. Look at this, X, Y, Z. But they didn't go with that, you know. So, but let's look at the hearing. This is Fed 1. Remember, there's Fed 1, Fed 2. This is Fed 1. This is the discussion over it. Make sure, of course, when watching any of this stuff, always make sure to turn into the channel that put this out first. I want to make sure to give them clicks, of course. You know, we don't want to take anything from them. That's why I didn't want to cover it yesterday. I figured it would still have some time on that. But make sure you give the channel some. I mean, they have definitely done their damage on there. They have definitely heard it. Let's hit some of these super chats real fast, and then we'll be caught up so we can when we're going through everything too. Okay, Fallen Hero, thank you for your gifted membership. Appreciate you. Good too, Fallen Hero. Thank you, brother. Max Lab, thanks for the 2. Hey Tug, somehow LP. Yep, indeed, and much love to you too, Max Lab. Appreciate you, buddy. Death's Angel dropped the 2 right there. Hugs and love to everyone. Going to be awesome. No, it's going to be a fun one. Death's Angel also dropped 5 gifted memberships. Thank you for that too, Death's Angel. Much appreciated. Stacy, 6 months. Thank you there. She's still screwed, regardless if she throws JC under the bus. That, yeah, you know, it's going to be. It's been interesting. That's what I want to listen to this 2 for today and see what you think about everything. Elsie, thanks for the 5 there. I don't have high def vision. Can't tell HD video from standard. My kids give me a hard time about my low quality tech. I listen more than I watch. You know what though? I listen a lot. I wear glasses myself, but I also, as I get older, I like to listen audiobooks. You know, I do a lot more of that. And I listen a lot anyway. I've been on a writing bug lately. You know, it's been fun. So I end up listening to a lot of programs. Daily Dysfunction, thanks for the 2. That's okay. We like you, Tuck. I appreciate you. Well, thank you. I appreciate you too. For real. I appreciate you guys. Happy Witch, thanks for the gifted membership. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. John Notes, thanks for the 2. There's a QuickBook invoice template for lawyer. It's so sloppy. You know what I want to do? Here's the thing, man. If I want to distinguish myself from everybody else, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to set my stuff up. I'm going to refer to, here's what you learn with mental health. Actually, it's Business 101, but you really adopted in mental health. You don't call your people consumers. because to consume, that means they just shovel down drivel. You call people that buy, by and large, consumers, but the people that frequent you are clients. You are my client. You give them a term that is respectful, because I'm looking after you individually. You want to individuate anything that you do that with. Again, I'm not talking about like a warehouse in China selling you products, but if you're talking about individuated care, whether that again is in mental, physical health, or, being a lawyer, whatever, clients. There's a whole psychology to consumerism. It started out. I'm gonna mention this for about 2 minutes, okay? Just to say, the guy who wrote Wizard of Oz, L. Frank Baum, that guy wrote another book. It was about storefront windows. He was the first guy to ever write anything down about consumer psychology. He told you that if you put a window in the front, instead of putting it as a storage area, and you made a nice display, bam, more customers. From there, consumer psychology has become a multi-billion-dollar yearly industry. That's why the Coke can is a certain color. That's why websites, they address certain colors for banners, certain shapes, and more. I mean, there is a huge industry in that. I always found it industrial psychology, it can be called sometimes, or industrial organization. It's fascinating stuff, but it's basic consumer psychology. Ugh, kills me, man. Karen, thanks for the 2. Appreciate that. No statement, big statement though. Thank you. Appreciate you. Hippie Witch, thanks for the gifted membership there. Hippie Witch, thank you. Dawn, thanks for the 5. Sitting here watching in the dark. Power outage. Nothing keeps me from on time. Man, well, happy Friday to you, and I hope your power comes back on soon. I hate storms these days. Been having a lot of that myself. Rick Reed, thanks for the 2 months. Not a statement attached, but again, 2 months there. That is its own statement. Thank you, Rick. Hey, Zeus, thanks for the 5 there. Hey, Tug. Vomit as a revenge prawn on YouTube. Yeah, I've already started pulling that up. It takes a few, but they keep saying he doesn't think anything happens with it. I mean, how many times does it have to get taken down before they realize that it can be? Not just that, but all right, maybe the proof that they're willing to just keep putting it out there and putting it out there, maybe that'll convince YouTube to take their channel. I mean, what a bunch of morons, man. SF thinks 5. JH is roughly 1/3 of a million. Yeah, in already. What the fuck do they think 6K is going to bring them? Well, what you have are people with hate boners for whatever reason. Like Bruce is insanely obsessed with some of these folks and hurting them. Like DUI guy, for example. Look at his obsession with it. I wonder, first of all, if there is still a contingency agreement on the back end of anything that comes up. I'll do all of this, but I get my payday at the end. And I mean, we'll see. We'll see what comes up. But it's there's something weird. Mom, thanks for the Mama. What is that? Sherwood? Is that right? Shwood? I'm always trying to get there. Thanks for the 20. I think the timeline. BBB quitting, fired is messed up. He told the judge first, and then he's fired him after. Has anyone checked out timelines? There's people putting together absolute timelines for everything. So Rogue Mama and I mean, there's about 3 or 4 people. If somebody would direct them to who to contact, that would be helpful. That way everybody can work on that. Bug Naked, thanks for the 5. 6K is to file an appearance. After that, they won't worry about payment because then the attorney will have to be relieved. Well, it's lunacy though, isn't it? It's all lunacy. We'll see again. We'll see what face they staple on it. Stark was a fascinating one. Maybe that's why they don't note who they are at first. They're always like, we're shielding it. We'll see. We'll see. And if it's somebody attached to these people in the ecosystem, holy shit. If they have rolled in here trying to get a payday for that, and it is that flagrant, we'll see. What's up, AJ Stone? By the way, love to you. Like I say, every day I want to give love there. Appreciate you. You dropped 20 gift ups too. That is awesome. Even without those, love you very much so. Always love to you. Mel, thanks for the 2 there. That super sticker. I did see the super sticker roll in. Thank you, Mel. I got 2 more and then we're going to start. And that way when the super chat comes in, it will be timely for whatever's said. Okay. Misbehaving, thanks for the 2. What's up, Misbehaving? TRF, Tug Rant Fridays, indeed. And Fridays are a weird streaming day anyway. So I appreciate y'all being here. It's the worst streaming day. If I were to take off a day, I'd rather take off Fridays because it's a terrible one. Jack's mom, thanks for the 2. I wonder if BBB, we used to go fund me money for sanctions. He's not supposed to be, So, I mean, again, well, we'll see who gets brought in and everything else, But let's check this out together. Let's do this. We are caught up. That way, if something comes up, you want to make a comment or whatever, I'll try to catch it right in that section. That way I'll know what you're talking about,
Federal court update today. And John Crook didn't even show up. And the judge called him out on it.
Don't you think that's crazy, by the way? Like not showing up. Like, why would you do that?
The judge in federal court set up a status conference call for Fed case number 1. That's the defamation. We've got business interference. There's so much in there. It's ridiculous. Oh, and the evidence, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of screenshots, that are called fraudulent. Well, the jury's going to decide. So what happens is the judge sends out a motion and states, we're going to have a status call, a conference call. And it is going to be on the record. And the only individuals allowed to be on that call are myself, my counsel, Randy Shockett, Lynette, and Crook, since they have no current counsel. And yet, that's right. Somebody on the internet posted the entire motion with the phone number, with the access code, what to do. Oh, yeah. And somebody tried to get in. Okay, so
I'm actually not surprised by that. First of all, that someone tried to get in. Remember, somebody just got a denial from being able to participate in court hearings. One Darth Touch. Now, I'm not saying that person is the one that did that, but I am saying that person again. They were told in no uncertain terms, you're not supposed to be part of anything anyway. Like, check this out. I mean, this was posted. They've been talking about it like it was some kind of a win, like getting your butt kicked off of freaking court coverage. Check this out. We'll come right back. So check this here. Give me 1 second. Here's that, Check that out here. Based upon you or someone in your organization intentionally having violated administrative order regarding audio or video recording in a courthouse, as evidenced by the posting of social media photograph of the notice that such is not permitted, neither you nor anyone affiliated with your organization will be permitted to film or video any court proceedings until further notice. In addition, you'll not be permitted to bring into any courtroom a device. Any, by the way. You notice that. So Hales has the grounds to say, hey, this guy should not be in here with any device or anything else, So anyone attached to them, you can make the argument, any of them, you had Darth Touch, he posted both of the Bruce hearings. I'm sorry, both parts of a Bruce hearing. So it's 2 parts. He posted 2 parts of Bruce's May the 1st hearing. They recorded it. They weren't supposed to be doing that. It sounds awful, by the way. Bloody fucking awful. If you're going to go in and you're going to hide a recorder, do it better. But it's like, hey, no devices, nothing. And I bet you get yourself in a bit of trouble with that stuff too. So let's continue on. Let me pull this up here, get it situated. Also, Peggy, thanks for the 5, because I want to. Well, thank you, Peggy. That is much appreciated. I appreciate that. Let's continue.
So let's back up just a little bit, okay? We understand that everything is on stay, or what's called a pause right now.
Yep.
Reason being is because Deuce, in all his genius, he said that his clients, they kicked him out. They fired him, in essence. And then he told the judge in further communications that he was going to stay on the case. I mean, this is exactly like, my mom died. My mom didn't die. Crook would never point something at somebody. Crook has threatened to unalive me and my mom. Oh, I have no disc. I can't even walk or carry 2 gallons of milk. Look at me run to the sheriff, to Channel 20. The list goes on and on. I know you know that. We all know that. So what we're given is this.
Like his run face.
And then the judge or the federal courthouse is hosting this status or conference call. So I'm the first one that actually calls in. And I call in, and the host or one of the employees at the courthouse ask, can you identify yourself? I can't even understand what's going on. The sound is so hideous. It is extremely bad. And so I didn't even know I was being talked to. And then again, I mean, it's like an echo chamber. You ever had somebody on speakerphone and you're like, hey, would you just turn the speakerphone off and put the phone on your ear so I can actually hear you? Well, this was absolute, like they were 50 miles away from the actual speaker.
That is court, by the way. Many courtrooms are terrible with that. Some of them do that intentionally because you can, okay, so Fiona Apple, the singer Fiona Apple? Fiona Apple was a court watcher, and during the beer bug, you had access that was granted, since most people couldn't be there in person. Access was granted audio and visual. Well, she and a few other court watchers found some huge problems happening in courts. Huge problems, and reported them. You know how the court responded to that? They responded by cutting the visual feeds and making them listen with audio where some things are barely perceptible. So instead of being open to everyone, where you can, again, I believe that courts, there are very few exceptions that I don't believe they should be open. If they involve children, I don't think children should be put through the mess. I think there are specific, again, I'm not talking about documentation, but I think mostly if something engages with kids, a lot of family court probably doesn't need to be there because of kids. Now, I'm not saying specific documents, but I'm talking about just anybody like tuning in and see, because you see some horrible things. But by and large, 80% of cases, you should be able to say, should be able to audit. But yeah, that's one of the reasons you have such terrible audio. I mean, they obviously have outmoded technology in a lot of them, but they don't want to update for, a few reasons in a lot of places. So anyway, let's go.
But I did end up identifying myself, and there was this horrendous echo, just echo. It just kept ringing over and over and over again. And so that was extremely odd. Now, we were instructed to call in 5 minutes early for the status conference call. I called in 6 minutes early. Apparently, I was the first one. And then what happens is there's Lynette. Oh, yes. And so the lady host in the federal court states and says, hey, can you identify yourself? And Lynette doesn't know she's being spoken to. So she says nothing whatsoever, because we're told in the instructions, you are to be on mute. Do not unmute yourself. Well, said again, identify yourself, caller. And then she goes, this is Lynette Preston. And the funniest thing in the world, she has to emphasize, but I go by Michelle. Now, hold a second. We know everybody in Northport, before she jumped out of there because she burns every bridge and then she runs somewhere else, right? They all know her as Ruby. Yes, Ruby. Everybody in Northport knows her as Ruby, yet she's Michelle now. Oh, that's right. Her entire family knows her as Lacey.
Well, also, too, isn't it interesting to tell people, like, don't call me by whatever it should be? They should be referring to you. If we're talking about just the court, they should be referring to you as what you are on record. There should be no confusion whatsoever as to what parties are being discussed. You know, the court of law does not need to be using nicknames. It doesn't need to be using preferred names or any of that. The court of law needs to stick to specific guidelines.
Huh. They actually have always called her Spacey Lacey, but she's concerned about me saying Lynette. I mean, that southern, northern accent. I might have picked it up living in Florida for a little bit. You never know. You know, you go different places, you pick up different accents. So she emphasizes to this woman, but I go by Michelle, as if this woman cares. This is federal court. Your legal name is what you will be addressed as. End of story. And you're not going to be called Ruby or Alexis or Lacey or any of these other insane name changes for these people with... Well, but there's somebody else on her side now that uses that same Alexis and has some of the same unhinged issues in the head. All right. So the host then asked Lynette, is Crook going to be here? And Lynette goes, well, I don't know. That's not up to me. Wait, hold a second. Because I have plenty of screenshots saying that, number one, she wants him out of his life. Number two, he's her soulmate. And then it goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. If that ain't bipolar, I don't know what is. Okay?
I thought it's a scam, dude.
How does she not know where her soulmate is? But she's claiming she's not responsible. I'm not responsible for John. Okay. She's literally saying...
I thought they also said that they had gotten everything calm again. You know, the ecosystem said, and again, I would encourage this, by the way. I very much would. They said that he had not been glugging anymore. You know, that the court, everything after he went to jail, when he got out, everything was good to go. It was gravy. You know, there was none of that anymore. So, and again, I would encourage that, to be honest. I will never, ever not encourage somebody to go and get their life cleaned up, you know. But you would think you would want to take the court's response like seriously. Then again, I suppose with this court, they haven't really done anything about people ignoring their dictates, have they? I mean, you know. Maybe they will. Until they do, I don't think that these people would take them seriously anyway. I mean, honestly, it was just proven, like, straight up that you could stick a big middle finger up. You know, judges like, bring your checkbook and be here. It's like, nah, I ain't coming. You better come. Nah, ain't coming. I quit. I'm sorry. They quit me. Just like 2 years later. So, holy crap, man. Anyway, let's go.
Saying that. She says it later to the judge as well. And yet, this is the same individual that is claiming that I'm responsible for anything that happens online. She's not responsible for anything that other people do, but apparently she says I'm responsible for everything everybody does. Hey, when in doubt, blame Jeremy. Apparently, I am the chief of the tribe. I didn't know it. Now I do. Okay, so my legal counsel shows up next. That would be Randy Shockett. And he phones in and she asks for identification. And he doesn't understand either. I am extremely serious when I'm telling you the audio on this phone call was atrocious. It was so bad. So bad. And it just kept ringing in an echo chamber. And we could hear them without an echo. But as soon as we said something, it just bounced and went straight back into their speaker. Weird. And it was horrible. So she goes through the same process that she did with me, with Lynette, and then with Randy. Randy identifies himself. And then another person tries to call in. And she's trying to get this person to identify. Now, keep in mind, as I've already shared with you, that this entirety of this document and the information, how to call in and all of this, has already been shared publicly by a walrus. Okay. And
by the way, let me note this too. Linda, thank you. You sent in. I'm just going to say it that way. Love you, Tug. Hey, love to you return. Thank you for a 20 there. That's appreciated too. Very much appreciated. We've had some craziness in the last day, so I'm glad to recover some. Yeah, don't you hate it when you get like those random? I'm not asking for anything on here. I'm just making this clear. Don't you hate it when you have something like pop up that you don't expect? You're like, oh my god, that seems like life all the time. I got hit with like a $205 thing. I was like, oh my god. Going into the end of the month too. You got everything you're stacking for the next month. It's like, anyway, so I appreciate that. Also, let's see. shadows in my soda, which I had gotten wrong so many times. Thank you. Sent 10 through PayPal too. That is very much appreciated. Thank you with that. And Cheryl sent 5 there. Thank you, Cheryl, as well. So thank you, Tug. Well, thank you. That is much appreciated as well. Here we go. Let's continue.
So there's not that many people that watch. And frankly, 75% of the people that watch are just reporting everything back to us anyway of what's going on. And so there are some people in that camp that tried to phone in and they were then knocked out. And so again, the host says, has Cook joined? Is Cook here? And said, identify yourself. Is that you, Cook? Identify yourself. And the person would not identify themselves. And that person was booted. And again, we're asked, is Crook coming? And we get no response. And so
I've got a raider. Give me 1 second. Hey, kiddo, what are you doing? What you do? Hey, did you get your pizza warmed up?
Yep.
You did? Okay.
And the crust was so good. You have to eat the back, because if you eat the front.
Oh, did you get stuffed crust? Is that what it was? You got stuffed crust pizza? You got cheese inside of the crust?
Yeah.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah. That cheese was so good in there.
It
I
was.
ate that entire crust.
You did? Oh my goodness. Well, that's
there was
good.
a little part that had season on it.
Mm-hmm. You want to say hi, by the way?
Hi.
Yeah, we're watching something. So, just to note, we are on watching something.
For you?
Yep. Of course. Well, you can read. You want to say thank you, S-Shine?
Thank you, Shine.
Just $10 there. So
I think it's for you.
Yeah, well, who cares?
I think that's my for me and me, because you didn't see those long ago.
It's for me. And me? No, it was for you. That's your $10. Okay. How's that sound?
$10?
Yeah, you want that $10? You can have
yeah, I love money to get candy.
Yeah, you love candy and video games and pizza and everything else, right?
Yeah, but
toys.
And next time I'm not paying for the pizza.
You're not. You didn't. I didn't make you pay for the pizza. I was joking.
Yeah.
That was nice. She said this was very nice, by the way. So her sister wanted pizza.
Hey, right there.
I see that. Here, let's see. Okay. Her sister wanted pizza though, and she said that you said I will pay for it, and you can buy Sissy and me pizza. Didn't you? That was very nice. She was going to pay out of her tooth fairy money, so that was very nice. She thought she thought she actually did pay for it too. That's funny.
And money for her.
Jeanette, can you say Jeanette? Thank you.
Thank you, Jeanette.
Look at the little book. Look at that. It's cute, isn't it?
Exciting.
Look at that. That's
money for you or me?
That's for you. It says for you. It's Muppet Man Dwayne Rapp. Can you say?
And the other one was for me.
Yes, of course. Can you say thank you, Dwayne?
Thank you.
Yeah, that was for you. Did you say thank you, Dwayne?
Thank you. And money.
There's K-Matt Red Queen. That's $5 for you too. Can you say thank you?
Thank you. I'm getting
My
money.
goodness. There's Laura B. Look at little B there too. Can you say thank you, Laura B?
Thank you, little B. It's hard to say that for me. Whatever.
I know. Well, you're missing a couple of teeth in the front now. You're actually missing a bunch of front teeth. She lost the bottoms, and they've almost grown back in. You know, she got the other ones in, but now she's missing the tops. So it's hard for her to say
I
certain
think
things.
that
Right?
big tooth, that's just so tooth, gonna be bigger tooth.
Say thank you, Liz.
Thank you, Liz.
Look
It's
at
hard
the
to
hearts
say.
there.
Aw.
That's very cute.
I
huh?
think it's for me.
Yeah, it is for you. There's Jesus. You think thank you, Jesus?
Thank you, Jesus. And
Good
this
for-
pizza.
For you, yeah, that's good. You know what the word pizzas looks like, don't you? That's Lady Tammy. Can you
Why
say
is the
thank you?
pepperoni?
They're sending pizza, and this one says it's for your pizza fund.
Yeah.
That's cool, huh?
I'm gonna say that, Kelly.
That's wild. You're gonna spend it on candy. Lord.
You know it's my
This one-
favorite.
Can you say thank you, Robin? Since
Thank you, Robin.
That's ice cream money. It says.
Oh, wait.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I hope you have that, your favorite ice
Love
cream.
it.
Mesca ice cream.
S. Sean, can you say thank you, S. Sean?
Thank you, Esther. It's hard to say when you
That's
live
okay.
there. Few too, sis.
That one's for you too. Yeah. I think everything's hard for you to say right now. There's Joan. Can you say thank you, Joan?
Thank you, Joan. It's
That's
hard
a-
to say.
Yeah.
More money
Liz, look
for
at that.
me.
That's cute with the heart too. Yeah,
Mhm.
there's $25 there. too.
Two more money
Yeah, I can't believe
for
it, man.
me.
You are stacked up and racked up today, aren't you? That's Janice too. Did you say thank you to Liz?
Oh, Liz, thank you.
Yeah.
It's not hard to say yet.
Liz twice for you there too. Hey, here's Janice. Sent you. Look at that one. That's cute.
Oh
my
my
goodness,
god.
Holy moly! Look at that. That's TST. That's $100 there.
I can say a
What?
candy. I can say
Oh
a
my
bunch
gosh!
of
You
candy.
should see that look. I was like, oh Lord, somebody's gotten.
Candy money and
Somebody's
ice
got
cream
crazy
money.
look in their eyes. Candy.
I just want candy.
Can
Ice
Can
cream.
you say thank you to TST?
Thank you.
That's for you and Sissy. Okay, so that's very nice. Bonnie, can you say thank you to Bonnie?
Thank you, buddy.
There's some money for Sissy too. That was very nice. So both of you got some. Lawanda, like that. Can you say thank you, Lawanda?
Thank you, Wanda.
Yep. Said you can call her Wawa. Is that easier to say, Wawa?
Wawa.
Yeah, it's easier. Yeah, much easier. Yeah, that's actually good there. Travis, what's up? Can you say thanks, Travis, too? I'll go
Thank
over any
you,
regular super chats, by
Travis.
the way, too. Elsie, can you say thank you?
Thank you. And this pepperoni
There's
pizza.
pepperoni pizzas. Oh, my goodness.
You.
That
I
is
like
so
pepperoni
crazy.
pizza.
Man, all right, there. That's crazy. I guess
I don't like pepperoni pizza.
you don't have to eat the pepperoni that's on the picture.
You just have
You just
to
like the
take.
cheese.
You just take the pepperoni.
You like actually, you know what though? You like that that Philadelphia what is that called? The Philly steak pizza. Remember that one? With
Yeah.
the meat on it?
Yeah.
That has, instead of the sauce, it has like the different kind of sauce.
Yeah.
You like that, don't you? All right. Hey, you need to go. Like, I got to cover with all these great folks that you got something to dream about. The next
And why
Candy
is there
visit.
so much Ghostbuster stuff in that?
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. The thing, I've got it paused up there. I didn't close up the thing there. It's his background. Look at all his Ghostbuster stuff. Do you like
Why
that?
does he have so much Ghostbuster?
Oh, maybe he likes it. You like Ghostbusters?
I only saw a TV show that's not Ghostbusters.
They have cartoons. Did you know that? Oh, here's Janice. Can you say thank you, Janice?
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah. Oh, and here's Jesus also. Can you say thank you, Jesus?
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's hard to say that. But
It's all good.
This just actually helped me talk better.
It's got to be hard to say it with the two front teeth. That is pretty difficult. All right. I go upstairs for a little bit though. I got to go over our video today.
That's a
Okay?
bunch of money for me.
It is. You hooked it up. There you go.
$100 for me for candy and ice cream.
I know you are hooked up. You are golden. You are golden forever now. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
And I can always eat candy.
Yep. All right. Let me hit a couple of. There was a couple of super. First of all, thank you, folks, for sure. She's been asleep half the. I love you too, kiddo. She's been asleep for a lot of the live stream times, So, let's see. Plays Carnage Crew. I missed. Thanks for the 5. Hey, can you close the door, baby?
Yeah.
I can still hear you. Can you close it for me? Thank you. I hear she playing upstairs so that you could hear it. It's That's a long way away, but you can still hear the echo down. The government does not like transparency because they don't like accountability. That is very true. Actually, talking about that. Muppet Man Dwayne, by the way. Oh, Hale, the chief. Indeed. Indeed. Thank you there. Could the personal call be BBB? Hell, we don't know. Like, I don't like to speculate on that, because again, I try to be careful about certain statements, jokes, whatever, but I don't know about something like that, Also, Travis, thank you too. Glad you're on tonight. Lug and Bug Pizza Fun. Courts on Zoom are horrible. They are, man. They are. I've seen some, they're just bad. The courts in Zoom are bad too because you get locked in and nothing can. I mean, it's a mess. By the way, Mark comes back. I'll have to thank you too. Thank you, Mark, as well. Mark guy, Mark guy, that Mark guy. I like it. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. All right, let's roll. Let's roll.
Lady that works in the federal courthouse, she actually says we're going to delay this for a couple minutes to see if Crook is actually going to show. Now, do you think Crook would actually show when he has been court ordered? By the way, he probably should have received sanctions today as well.
Thank you, Mark.
Because he knew very well that everything was on stay. Everybody was ordered. No more motions whatsoever. And then he submits motions that were written not by him, by Deuce, which again breaks the law. And now sanctions should be imposed on Crook 2 times because he filed the same motion 2 times, one signed, one unsigned, and then the judge struck it immediately from the docket. And so Crook's not there. We're delayed. This whole process has been delayed. Oh, wait, that's Deuce that is publicly stated. He's so proud that he has delayed this case for 5 months.
While bragging about he bragged about that while complaining that Jeremy Hales could slow something down. See, that disgusts me because there's this weird standard, that anything they do, and they stand behind this. All of them do, by the way. Anything that Jeremy does, he's the devil. If they do the exact same thing, exactly the same thing, then it's all gravy, baby. Isn't that? It's just the hypocrisy. Oh, it's frustrating sometimes. Let's continue.
One of his proudest accomplishments. Curious how the judge is going to feel about that and the jury once they see this in both Fed case 1 and 2. So we're now again delayed because of Crook. Maybe he's patching up holes that a child is screaming at Travis Willis. Or maybe he's, I don't know, wrapping his leg up to the crotch so he can measure things out on the road. Who knows? Who knows? But he's not there. And Net is saying, I'm not responsible for him. So eventually, Randy states to the host and says, well, who's the other person that just called in?
See, that is crazy. I mean, it really is. Because you think about it again. If a judge sits down and says, hey, we are delaying because these people don't have, first of all, we had a delay, but we had a delay also to check in on the status of a lawyer for these 2 folks. One of them doesn't even bother showing up. Man, what's up, Judge? I mean, really, what is up with that? Like, how is this stuff? I would expect, like, if I pulled some of these shenanigans, I would have a problem. I think if Jeremy Hales were to do some of this stuff here, or Randy were to do some of this stuff here, he would have a problem. It's lunacy. It really is. Because I think a double standard is not a standard. It's definitely not. There have been a couple of people that wrote for Muppets too. Yes, I will definitely get you a Muppet. I will do that for sure. Anybody, again, if y'all want Muppets, I will. All I'm doing is sticking them in Chat GPT. So one of the things that I pay for with this, I have Grok. My year I paid for Twitter. That was actually an accident, but I ended up paying for Twitter for a year. So that was, I think only like $80 something. It wasn't like insane for a year. But Chat GPT which can do 100 pictures a day, and they have much better quality. I use it to, for kid lesson plan, all kinds of stuff, man. It is very helpful for a lot, but it charges $20 a month. So we'll get our freaking use out of it. If you're using it for free and you're trying to make one, you can make it on 1 or 2 tries maybe, but if you have problems, like I say, just send them over. I'll do them for you. It may take me a minute, but I've gotten I think I'm up to about 150 Muppets now. So I think we're good with that. Wanda, by the way, is that a 10 there? Thank you. Love you, Tug. Thanks for the night. Thank you. That is very, whoa, man, that is crazy. AM, man, send a hundo through there. End of the month surprise. Wow, thank you there. So that's awesome. I appreciate that too, because PayPal is how I run business expenses. I run StreamYard, recorders, all of that stuff. I run them out of there. So when people send over something and it sits in there, I try to keep it out of my bank. So I try to shove money over in there. So that's very much, very appreciated. Yeah, all you guys, appreciate you. Let's continue to. Wait, saw it. Super chat. Let me see what there. Best friends for life. Thanks for the 10. Can my avatar be turned into a Muppet? We can try it. Send it over to me. Mail it to me. I need I need you to give me a picture as clear as you can get. But yeah, mail it to me. granularheaven@gmail.com. Just mail it to me. I'll try. If it comes out like crap, you already have a cool one. But I'll try it for you. I don't mind trying it for any of you, like I said. And let's see, Travis, thanks for the 5 there. My last court date I had a long time ago. I followed the dress code of court and was threatened by the judge because he was offended by my tattoos. That's nuts, man. Well, I went one time as a witness, right? As a witness. And they said something. I can't remember what it was. It was something about, it got on to it. So there were 3 of us that ended up going, and it said something about either tie or something. I don't remember what it was, but it was bizarre. Like I had a tie. It was like a neutral black tie with a clip, and it was weird. That judge anyway, I think he was on the glug. He was pretty weird. But those judges a lot of judges get away with a lot of crap. We have one really good judge here. And then we have one, yeah. Let me just go with that.
I want identification. Who is the other person? And the host does not give identification because the person who called in did not give identification. But no doubt this person definitely has a number. Now, if it's the person that I think it is, it could have been paint chips, could have been asbestos boy, most likely asbestos boy. He just got reprimanded for another thing in court, probably using a fake number to call in and immediately getting booted in the first place. Again, I can't tell you with certainty who it was, but there's no doubt somebody had ill intentions trying to phone in, and the host booted them. No identification. You're not going to be in this. As a matter of fact, the judge makes some pretty strong statements once the judge arrives. So the judge is alerted to the situation that Crook isn't there. Jeremy, Randy, Lynette are. Let's get this thing rolling. So the judge comes in on the host and he says, I've been told that Crook isn't here and what's going on. And specifically, he states, we are on the record now. Randy, are you here? Yes. Jeremy. Yeah, well, actually he goes, Mr. Shockett, are you present? Yes. And then he goes, Lynette Preston. Yes. Now, why didn't Lynette go, I go by Michelle?
That would have been funny, actually.
She went off on it in the beginning. Why not again with the judge? Honestly, I got to admit, I thought Lynette was going to be completely and totally unhinged in this phone call. And you add Crook to that. Oh, my goodness. And the judge getting the first taste of these two. So what happened?
You have to admit that would have been kind of lunacy, right? Wanda, check Cash App. Let me check Cash App. Give me 1 second there. Let me see. I got the. Give me 1 minute. Cash App. Is it not sending me notifications? Is that what the problem is? Or give me 1 minute. Let's see. So Cash App wise, I see Cheryl. Yep, I see Cheryl there. I see Christopher. That was yesterday. Didn't show up. I didn't see it until now. Christopher, by the way, thank you. Oh yeah, I did. I liked that. So I saw those through there. And Venmo, let me make sure. I thought I caught everybody there. It says I'm caught up. If I missed somebody, again, I saw Wanda with Cash App for 10 there. Again, thank you. I noted that before. Let me make sure. 1 second. Yeah, love. Thanks for the night. Yep, Wanda. Appreciate that. I did note that, but I could have. It doesn't matter. I appreciate it. I think that's everybody. I think I caught everybody in there. It's supposed to give me a notification for everything. Sometimes I miss them though. But yes, thank you, Wanda. Just Jay, thanks for the 5 there. Due to a lack of promotion, I'm turning on all of you and exposing it all. Send the good side or else. War. I know, man. That Just Jay Hip, the horse of war. The pony face of war. I love it. Travis, thanks for the 5. He told me 60 days if I came in, and if he could see my tats. Definitely was not a witness. I was absolutely defended. 6 days. That's nuts. Anyway, they have specific. I've got a tattoo on my hand. What am I supposed to do? Wear a glove? I mean. That's ridiculous, I mean, they have. I get a certain dress code, but come on, like if I'm wearing a nice shirt, so ridiculous. Polish Spark, thanks for Tug. If you want to help making Muppets, let me know. Well, I appreciate it. Hey, if anybody, if you need, I've been good. I'm almost the flow of how many came in at first versus now. I'm pretty caught up, but again, Polish Spark too. People want to mail Polish Spark as well, just whatever. I don't mind it.
Judge
it's
asked
fine.
For who's in attendance.
But thank you, Polish Spark.
And states we're on the record and wants to know, is he joining us or not? And he asked Lynette, is Mr. Cook, which I call Crook, to protect his identity and to label him for what he really is, a scammer. Con.
They complain. This is what I don't get. They complain when he did use their names. They complain when he doesn't use their. I don't get it. I remember again. I was calling Lynette, and 2L and crew had a little fit about it, like, oh, that's so wrong. She's Lynette, and so I started using Lynette, and now it's Lynette again. I have no idea. I can't keep up with it. It's all jackassery, man.
And a complete and total embarrassment to anybody who knows him. And so ask, is he going to be joining us? Again, where she goes off, I know nothing. I'm not responsible for him. I thought he was going to be. I don't know. Oh, that's right. They live in 2 separate things. You realize that they live in 2 separate things because they're taking advantage of the government. If they live in the same thing, they lose benefits. The government shows up and she's in a shed and he's in a camper and they live in 2 separate things. They get more money. It's all part of the scam. You get that, right? But do you also understand who's damaged in all of this? A child, an innocent child who's being utilized for income instead of abled individuals going out and working for income. And it's sick. It's horrendous. It's horrible. And what does that child experience every day? some of the most vile conditions, some of the most vile language. It goes on and on and on. It's beyond concerning. So we are then all asked, as the judge comes on and says, he says, I want to remind everybody, this is a federal court hearing. We are on the record. And we are in federal court right now. There will be no recording. There will be no broadcasting of what is going on. And so he goes down the list. He goes, Mr. Shockett, can you confirm you're not recording? He goes, no, I'm not recording. And he goes, Lynette, you confirm you're not recording? No, I'm not recording. Which before, Lynette was stating that she was on speakerphone. So George and I already kind of figured that she was going to be recording and sending it to Deuce, which is our deduction, which I have no doubt is what happened anyway. She's a pathological liar. I'm sure she recorded it all. I'm sure she's sending it to Deuce. Remember, Deuce says, I'm gone. I got fired. No, wait, I'm still here. I'm going to help through this whole process. Then he...
Yeah, don't get caught. That's the one thing. If you record, don't get caught. Because, well, I don't know. I say that, man, but this court hasn't, what has it done? So I don't know. Andre, thank you for the 2 there. Hey, Tug, LP and JC, like oil and water. Mix. There's been every recording that comes up, there's like screaming and stuff. And again, I wouldn't care at all. It's just people put these narratives out, and then it was kind of weird. It was kind of like the narrative of Travis, when they were talking about Travis and they were recording Tube Tale. It was supposed to be this positive, about them and negative about Travis. But when I saw it, all I got from it was screaming in the background. I thought, good God, man, it's so loud. I could listen to the conversation, like no joke. I could make out what was being said. I kept thinking, God, what's his name? The Biscuit Boy. I can't think of his fucking name, but he wouldn't break enough, so I could follow. Anytime he'd break, I could listen to it, where she was yelling about a post that she had put up. And I was like, man, he needs to shut up a little bit more. But it was so loud, though, that typically if you have people talking in the backdrop, AI can't distinguish it from background sound very easy. It won't take it as multiple speakers. But in that video, if you run it through AI and try to separate like what was discussed, you actually had 2 people. So it's just nuts, man. That much, that loud.
Authors, the motions for Crook, we already figured she was on speakerphone and she was going to be recording, which George was not here. This is just something George and I talked about beforehand. This was definitely going to be happening. So I have no doubt she did record, even though she stated she didn't record, and it would be illegal to do such. And so there's no recording. There's no broadcasting. In other words, going live. For example, I could have illegally, which I would have never done, turned my phone on, gone live in court. Now, there are some other piles of guano who does that here in Ohio in court, and it's a major issue.
Yeah.
You get caught.
Yeah, you get caught. That's the thing.
So she says, no, I'm not doing that. And I get on and I state, listen, this echo is horrible. I can't hear anything. I can only hear, because then he asked me, he's like, Mr. Hales, do you understand no recording, no broadcasting? I said, yep, I understand completely. I went, listen, Judge, you got to know this echo is horrible. I can't understand anybody but you. So when he would talk to us, I could hear. If Randy talked, it just went in this whirlwind of echo. If Lynette talked, it went in this whirlwind of echo. It was bad, really bad. And the judge goes, okay, well, let's just see if we can make it work. Let's see if we can get through this and make it work, even though it's horrible sound. And if we need to, we'll go ahead and we'll shut it down and we'll start another call. And right now you're going, what's Jeremy doing down there? Well, it's completely and totally legal for me to take notes. And actually, I think my lawyer's probably calling me right now.
That sound where he opened up, or he was messing with papers, really weirded me out. Like my little one likes to sneak down here, and every now and then she'll get by, for doing something. And I heard that, and you can tell, he's got pretty good sound quality because I could hear it switch back and forth like with my headphones right where it's centered. I was like, what the heck is that? Somebody made it in here with me. This boy's name is the same as the cocktail. That is TC. Okay. I could just go with TC then, Hey, by the way, best friends, send me over that avatar. I'll do it right now while I'm on here. I've already made 3 or 4. If you hear me typing, I'm either, while we do these, especially, I catalog stuff. I put screenshots where they need to be. I mean, you would not believe, I've been going through those the last few days, and you would not believe the sheer amount of them.
Be my guess. Let me see. I got all kinds of things going on. Geez. Okay. All kinds of things going on. All right. Phone's going off like crazy right now. Hey, I think everybody wants to know what happened in court. So, judge gets back on, goes, listen, we're going to make this work. We're going to try and do the best that we can to make this work. And
by the way, just a note, since they dared us to report their revenge prawn that has been taken down multiple times, so they obviously know that it is against the platform's policies. I am going to do that. I gave them plenty of opportunity. All they have to do, they think that they think somehow that harassing is winning, and it's the most bizarre thing. It is the most bizarre thing. Like that's some kind of, you're really winning when you get your shit taken down, and that they've weirdly been talking about like they're going to sue over. Yeah. You know what? Putting stuff like that up is a violation of terms of service. So go that route again. Here we go.
And he goes on record and he says, listen, I put this case on stay because of lack of counsel for Lynette and Crook. And he specifically asked Lynette, is that still true? Have you found counsel? And Lynette goes, which again, you have to keep in mind, I can't understand everything that's going on in this echo chamber. So think about saying one word that echoes 10 more times, and then you say 2, 3, 4, 5 words echoing 10 times. It's all over each other. It's like boom, 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 stack. I couldn't even understand what she said. And I'm sure Randy couldn't either, even though I think Randy might have just been calling me. But the judge can hear us, no echo on his end. It's all on our end, no matter what. If you're on speakerphone, if you're not on speakerphone, doesn't matter. So because he's on speakerphone, it just was bouncing all over the room and going right back into the microphone. And the only thing that I really could gather is Lynette goes, we found somebody. We're trying to get a retainer, which I think everybody already knows about that. And you have to also understand any lawyer that tries to jump in on this case is going to look at this and is going to go, your only option is to make a deal. And I'm not making any deals. I can't be any more clear. This is going to the fullest extent of the law for all of these freaks and what they've done to my life, George's life, to those who I love and that I have a responsibility to care for. Deanna, Christian, Patience. And it goes so much further than that, but those are the ones that you know of. And so this will be fullest extent of the law. And hopefully, because of going the fullest extent of the law, this will save other people from this horrendous treatment, from the lies, the manipulation, the harassment, the defamation. And so I know if this was happening to you or somebody you loved, you'd want somebody to step up for you. And the reality is that's what I'm doing. I'm stepping up for everybody so this never happens from these freaks again. And so she goes on to say, we're trying to get representation. We just need the money for the the retainer fee. And I guarantee you any lawyer is going to run. I mean, let's see how many have so far. Okay. We had Silver Scam. He ran. He was going to be held responsible. I let him off easy, and I shouldn't have, but I'm just too nice sometimes, because he ran and I could have held him responsible for half of my legal fees. Oh, wait. Then we had Stark. Oh, wait. We also had the white ninja from Ohio. He ran, called my lawyer, apologized for Deuce and Lynette and Crook. Literally. And my lawyers in Ohio go, we've never had the opposing counsel ever call us and apologize for those who they represented.
That's wild. I want to hear that one more time. Yeah. Like, I want to make sure. Just give me 1 second. Humor me, please. I'm going to go back 25 seconds. Okay. I just wanted to hear that again.
Lawyer's going to run. I mean, let's see how many have so far. Okay. We had Silver Scam.
Yeah.
He ran. He was going to be held responsible. I let him off easy, and I shouldn't have, but I'm just too nice sometimes, because he ran and I could have held him responsible for half of my legal fees. Oh, wait. Then we had Stark. Oh, wait. We also had the white ninja from Ohio. He ran, called my lawyer, apologized for Deuce and Lynette and Crook. Literally.
I thought for a second when he brought that up, I thought he said Stark called and I was like, what? So I misheard it for a second there. That's why I wanted to go back and make sure that I understood that. I thought, what now? I still don't, like, if I were Stark, I would be pissed, because Stark was promised things that were not delivered. He thought he was going to get rich, and he obviously did not get rich. He ended up running away. So you have to wonder. You also have to wonder, he got nothing. At the end of the day, he got nothing. And he is still in the dirt. He's still potentially going to be held responsible. So like I said, if I were Stark, I would be pissed, I would be. Oh, best friend, by the way, for life. Thanks for the tune. Not that techie, LOL. I need time. You're fine. You just, like I said, all you need to do is just send it over to Granular Heaven, or somebody take a screenshot of best friend for life. Actually, I don't know where to send it though. I'd have to have somewhere to send it if I knew where to send it. But if somebody just take a picture of it, I would, but it would, the way I'm set up would distort it too bad, and it would just look like mush. Otherwise, I'd do it all for you there. But no problem. I mean, again, when you get to it, like I said, everybody has enjoyed the Muppet thing. So anybody who wants it, I'm like, why not? I get 100 pictures a day. So why not?
Lawyers in Ohio go, we've never had the opposing counsel ever call us and apologize for
that is wild, by the way. I've never heard of really opposing counsel going and apologizing for something. But then again, I mean, the way some of this has happened, you didn't have just you didn't have a person have themselves take aim. You had lawyers get involved that were not involved in the case at all, and to take aim at opposing counsel and the opposing parties. I, as a lawyer, would not want this tied to me. It's just insanity. Oh, it's pure insanity.
This is a first in their life. And I said, well, this is a first for a lot of people. And this is going to make presidential law. This is going to set precedents for a lot of things in regards to this territory of online education, entertainment, vlogging. Okay. So she goes on to say, we're trying to get the retainer. And he goes, well, is this lawyer going to be representing Crook as well? Now, this is the interesting part. You want to hear the most interesting part? Lynette says, no, this lawyer only represents me. John Cook is on his own. Oh, wait, hold a second. This is the woman who's used Crook to grift off of other people, telling everybody in Northport that she's leaving him because he's so, we'll call it bussive. And again, this isn't defamation because I'm quoting her actual messages, all public. She tells everybody she's leaving him. She's used him for the grift to try and get money from other people. She's gonna, because he's so bad, she is in federal court on the record now stating that this lawyer will only be for her. It is not for Crook. Crook is on his own.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the receipt, that's what it says too. Now, there were some people saying attached to that he said he doesn't need a lawyer. Why? Why would you think that? John, again, you do whatever you want, man. I am not your mama. I don't control you. My God, why would you think? If somebody told you that as advice, telling you, yeah, this is a good legal decision, you should sue them because it's terrible. Just to say, terrible.
Which is interesting considering literally there was just a live stream today. Now, you have to understand that my lawyers already have these, but there was a live stream in which it was stated, I believe it's like this, too many phones. It was stated in the live stream that, this is hilarious. Hilarious. Okay. It was stated, where is it? Come on, it's so funny. It was Crook. It was Crook stating, thanking Fleesa for helping him with all of his court stuff.
Oh my God, did he do it too?
Oh my goodness.
Did he say that too? Holy God, please somebody send me that. I need it in my life. I've been holding off on listening to this whole thing so we can do it live. And I'm finding out that 2L also helped John with his filing too. Oh my God, please somebody send me that. I haven't seen it. I've only seen the Marla one. Oh my God, Cook, you are an idiot, man. You do not let these people, they will put you in jail. You are playing with your freedom, man. Again, why I'm torn here. Okay, I'm very torn. I believe that he is 100% guilty. I believe he's done stuff that should put his ass in jail. But at the same time, I believe everyone under law has the right to an attorney, and they should make good decisions. They shouldn't have these idiots telling them you don't go out and represent yourself. I mean, this is some sovereign citizen kind of shit. Having a YouTuber that does not understand any of this stuff put together your legal. Are you kidding me? I mean, that is some crackheaded stuff. You notice, John, here's the thing too. You notice your partner there is not going that direction. I mean, you do see that, right? So where you're going this opposite direction, where you think you don't need anyone and people are cheerleading you on, I feel like they're burning you. The signs and stuff, for example, they already put you in the jackpot saying that you're the one who did it, not her. I'm waiting for him to be hung out to dry as a patsy for a lot of this stuff. I mean, his statements, again, and I'm not saying he's not guilty, but he's not the only one guilty. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the stuff that was talked about, everything from a hitman to many of those messages that we saw. My God. Again, I feel like I've said this before. I really do sometimes feel like they are setting him up to take you fall for everything. And I believe he is guilty of stuff, but he's not the only guilty party. I mean, holy crap, man. All right, let's continue. That's crazy, dude. That is.
Careful, because some people mistake her for a lawyer.
That's
Other
true.
people mistake it for a walrus. Okay.
A
So don't you
lawyer.
find that interesting that
A
Lynette
lawyer.
is going to utilize this,
You don't
this
even mistake
lawyer
it for
that
a
she's trying to
lawyer.
raise a retainer for all of these court cases in Florida? She has 2 federal court cases in Florida. She has 2 civil cases in Florida. As a matter of fact, June 18th is the next hearing for sanctions and legal fees against her for the thumbnail lawsuit. And then she has trespass 5 that she's being sued for $55,000 plus damages. Wow. Interesting. By the way, if anyone out there thinks she's going to win, you are as foolish as she is. And she has listened to other scammers, such as Deuce, trying to use her for fame, thinking he was somehow going to get some money and fame. Oh, well, it's definitely famous.
It's insanity.
For all the wrong things. And for those who would say there's no bad thing as bad PR, you might want to ask P. Diddy about that. You know,
There's actually, there
P.
is,
Diddy,
I've
Deuce,
seen
ask
people
them.
say that. I've seen people say there is no bad press. There is bad press. There is very bad press. Some things you do not want associated with your name. You know, so anyone who says that, they have no idea what they're talking about, you know? They don't. They have no idea. Let's continue.
Is there bad PR?
Let me note this too. If I send you a Muppet, remember, I've had a couple of people write and Muppet color, you know, for like skin tone. It doesn't pick up on darker tones sometimes. So everyone may look the same shade of Muppet, you know, and that is an AI thing. I'm just saying, you know, I try to give it a few commands to, you know, to limit certain things. But as far as, like I say, skin tones, I've had it put one person as purple, but almost everybody, it doesn't matter I've had people that they're white, black, you know, they're Asian, you know, we've had all of that and they all come out yellow. So just remember that again. I don't want anybody to think, oh my gosh, you know, I did try your puppet there. People get offended over crazy stuff. So I'm just saying that too. Teresa also, thanks for the 5. Sorry. What is the Muppet email again? 11 giggles tonight, Tuck. It is granular. Here, I will post it in the thing too. It will come up, but it is granular like a grain of sand. GRANULAR. Heaven, this is the next word, HEAVEN at gmail.com. You can send it there right now, and I'm doing it right this minute. So I'm going to shoot it to you again. There, it's up. But anybody out there, again, if you have a problem with it, just ask a mod too. And if you forget it, they should be able to help as well.
I'm going to say yes.
Thank you.
All right. So Lynette goes on. Well, the judge goes on and goes, well, does Crook, is he going to have a lawyer? And she goes off on a tirade. I can't answer that. I'm not responsible for him. I have nothing to do with him. I'm like, she's throwing him under the bus to the judge.
That's crazy.
I wonder if she would have done that if Crook was on the phone call. She's literally throwing it. She's trying to separate herself as much as possible from him. I guarantee you, once this gets into court, she's going to say that he did the signs and not her. She's going to throw.
They've already started that. It feels like it, does it not? I mean, they've already geared up when they put together the filing. You know, when you read over Bruce's stuff, he brought up the signs for again. Who got the blame? So I mean, you got to ask yourself, like, who is going to be the patsy? You know, and I'm not saying again they're not guilty of anything, but my lord, you know, Angela, thanks for the 5. Does need a lawyer because he became the mole when he went to jail and made a deal to get out? That would be hilarious, but. No, I doubt that one's true. That would be the greatest freaking thing ever, by the way. You know, that would be. Give me 1 second. That'd be amazing. So somebody sent me also the screenshot for Best Friends for Life. I'm trying it as a blown up fuzzy detailed one. Let's see if we can do that one. Okay. We'll just see if it works. If not, I'll have to have a better detailed one.
Throw him as far under that bus as she possibly can. Now, we already know she wrote half the signs. We don't know who the other person is, although we do believe it is one of the, we'll call them cracker lovers.
Oh,
you know,
that's cute.
In Otter Creek, crack is everywhere.
Cracker lovers.
And, put those two words together. Another rugger who they had on the property, Jessica. And we've reached out to Jessica, and we've not been able to make contact.
I noticed that. It's just funny. It's like, wait a minute. When people say that something like that, that doesn't mean the D rugs in this area. Oh Lord, that's funny. That's so funny. Night Owl, thanks for the data. This is one crazy case. You help to keep it entertaining. Indeed, that you should be able to laugh at a lot of this. Again, you and I should be able to sit down and laugh at the stupid people, and make it ingestible. It's also, and don't let the people wash away the guy that they've been taking aim at too. Ultimately, that bothers me as well. All right. Hey, check this out, by the way. I want to show you something real fast. All right. So, Best Friends, how's this work for you? How is that? It's the same colors. It's two Muppets. They're holding in a little heart. I don't know where to mail it, but if that works for you, you could get somebody, if you want a different background or something, you could just get somebody to cut out the background for you. Put whatever you want on there too. You can make it however you want. Maybe that'll work for you. Just email me, period, if you want it. I don't even need an image. You just put that one in there. Here, I'm going to pull that back up again. Let's continue.
Yeah. But Crook and Lynette had them living on the property, then claimed they stole a giant tortoise and everything. So we believe it was the exact same time that was this Jessica woman, though we have not been able to confirm that yet. But we do have confirmation that Crook and Lynette and the child were in the vehicle when the signs were being placed by an eyewitness, an Otter Creek resident. Okay, so
Copperwise, I like that Muppet. That's hilariously good. I like it. Oh my God. Yeah. Hey, by the way, AJ Stone sent over that picture. So I think that came out good. So we'll see.
She goes off. I don't know. I'm not responsible for Crook. Da 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 da. And she can't answer. And the judge says, all right, well, obviously there's no legal representation as of yet. Crook isn't even here, which is concerning. And he asked Randy, he says, would you object to a 14-day extension? Now, you got to pause right there, because I'm on a phone call with my legal representation and I can't speak. I'm in court. Only my lawyer speaks. I don't speak unless I'm spoken to, such as the judge saying, Mr. Hales, are you here? Yes, I'm here. There's a bad echo. Okay, well, we're going to try, keep going forward. So he asked Randy if he objects. And I have a major concern with this, because Randy should be asking me if I'm okay with this. I'm in pain, right? As a matter of fact, another extension bleeds me of more money, more time, and I have a right to a speedy trial.
Yeah.
And Deuce has already bragged that he extended it for 5 months, costing me how much money? Oh, but here's the thing. I still have all my integrity. I still have all my true character.
Also, it's a smart move. I would say your lawyer would advise you this, Jeremy, just to note. He would say that the way this judge has acted, he carries you all at a different standard than he carries these other people too. I mean, just to note, first off. But he said, I'm paraphrasing, but if you object to something, there has to be a real driving issue. Otherwise, again, he's going to hold you on to a standard that he wouldn't hold these other folks to. That's the way I feel about it. Until I see him do something else that holds them to something, I wouldn't believe it. But yes, you're right. You have been denied the right to a speedy trial. You've been denied not just, you have been denied a impartial, well, just to be honest, I think the stuff that they've been allowed to do they've disrupted this trial to the degree that, again, I think if anything happens with this or Fed too, either way, I think you have a definite appeal, 100%. One second. If you mail me, by the way, remember to attach a picture if you want a Muppet. Okay. I've had a few folks, sometimes it won't attach right off the bat. It won't mail out. So just make sure it does attach your Muppets. Okay. Or your picture, so I can get your Muppet, rather. Just a note. I delete all your pictures afterwards too. If you send me a picture, I do delete them. So there's nothing in there. I delete. I make sure that they go away, just because we don't need to keep yours around there. 1 minute. I've made about 25 tonight. So we're humming along. It's pretty good. Let's continue.
I am and what I believe and what's foundational of my life. What does he have?
That's true.
So money means
I have to hand it to Jeremy. Again, his major criticisms levied against him are that he's been angry sometimes, and he's mocked and ridiculed people that try to ruin him. I said, you see how some of these people respond and what they've done after a couple of days, the attempts after days of trying to ruin. And the level of this stuff that we're at is nuts. When you bring in a guy that has spent years in prison, fraud, extortion, and that I cannot believe they lied to their audiences about this stuff too. They're like, oh no, that never happened. Man, Ray, what up, dude? He apparently, according, I'm going to have to go through, I'm going to get a transcript of everything there. He's been comparing some of our YouTube channels to Sodom and Gomorrah, which is, what an idiot, It's astounding to me that someone there, they essentially, we've had calls for all kinds of mess, calls for flagging. We've already had the doxing and bullshit, so it's been crazy. And I think it will get worse. Some people are like, hey, how will it get worse? But you watch, it'll get worse. What'll happen is they will recruit more of these worst folks. And that gets bad. It's very bad sometimes. I've seen it happen before. Not to this level. I've never seen a case go this crazy. And again, I've covered some pretty big cases. You're talking about people with exorbitant amounts of money, they hire real PR teams and more. I've never seen people act like these fools act. I've never seen people bring in what are obviously harassers, doxers and more. Obviously they're intended to do the worst that they can. Jeremy's doing good with it, I have to say. He's held up where a lot of people wouldn't.
Very little to me, even though you may go, well, why do you talk about it all the time on YouTube? Well, I'll give you a YouTube tip. YouTube advertisers, the highest paying advertisers, are the ones talking about how to make money. And so if you want to make money on YouTube, you talk about making money.
Yeah.
That's how it works. It's not really difficult. You go, oh, that's why you talk about making money? Yeah, because it makes money. And then I utilize that money to the things that I love most.
Well, it also helps people out too. If you can explain to people for success, unfortunately, you're seeing the other side of success too. When people talk about, I want to be successful on YouTube, you don't think about this side of it. This is the other side of it. You will be doxxed. Sooner or later, your family will probably be targeted. This is the only job. Politicians aren't treated this way. Some of the most divisive people in the world are not treated like you are if you're on social media. Have you ever thought about that? Like, when people, they tell you, well, you should expect that. What did you think would happen? You know? And it's like, are you kidding me? That's what Miltoast told Megan, you know, about all that nastiness. Wait a second. Sometimes the female and male Muppets are hard to tell apart, so I tell it to try to distinguish them, by the way.
Mostly Christian ministry. It'll go towards that or other individuals that I want to be a blessing to, such as Christmas in the Creek, orphans in Egypt. And so money is an ends to a means. I used to say in full-time ministry, when I was in full-time ministry, we don't have ministry without the money. There's no impact without the income. It's a necessity. We have to have it. So if I want to give, I have to make. I have to make to be able to give. And so it's a necessary means. But my life is not at all centered around money or foundational around money. I've had nothing. I've had plenty. I've had nothing again. I've had plenty again. I'm sure I'll have nothing again. And then I'll rebuild and have plenty again.
Yeah.
That's not what makes me me. This and what's in my heart is what makes me me.
That's a good message to put on with all this killer crazy. You know?
I'm not getting it, which is concerning. So Randy does state, as he answers the question, hey, we're okay with a 14-day stay, but this is the last one. No more at all. Now, this is 14 more days for federal case number 1, where they're going to try and raise money for a retainer for a lawyer, which everybody should have legal representation.
Yeah.
But according to Lynette, she's been her best legal representation.
Not just that, everybody, but apparently they don't think John should have legal representation, which, again, is bizarre to me. And come on, I know I'll joke about like 2L and stuff, but 2L is not somebody that should be representing any of you out there. As much as I love laughing about that, the reason I love laughing about it is because it's a joke. If she is telling you, if any of these people are telling them that they should be represented by any of these morons, honestly, they shouldn't be represented by any of them. You know, there are good lawyers out there. I'm stunned sometimes by what I'm seeing. I'm not surprised by some of the crazy, but I am stunned by some of the bad legal decisions. You know, when people are not, again, if we were talking about your life, your freedom, would you want what you've seen so far? Would you want a Scott Stark? Would you have wanted that? Would you have wanted BBB? Now, though, we're seeing that that's not the lowest you can go. Apparently, you have people like 2L that are giving out legal advice. You know, like, oh my God, why? They're Mama Bear, by the way. Some of these didn't pop up right off the bat. So, Mama Bear, thanks for the 2 there. Crooked Skateboat, but he's too stupid to know it. I feel like that sometimes, for sure, you know? Jaguar, thanks for the 2. Greetings from Lake Worth Beach, Florida. Well, greetings apparently from this female here in Florida, according to documents too. My fellow Florida denizen. Travis, thanks for the 2. If I send you, can you make me a jailbird moment? I note that in the header of it. Be like, make me a jailbird moment. And I'll see if it'll do it. You know, sometimes if it thinks I'm mocking, then it sometimes won't do it. So we'll see. Or a redneck or a bull rider. Again, you can note the one you want, you know, and I'll try it. But I can't guarantee it. You know, Lindy, thanks for the 249. Did you get your email? My email with the pics of the dog and me. Yeah, I've got about I think so. I saw one that noted that I've got about 30 or 40 requests. So I'm working through them. But I think I saw one with a dog. I'm not sure yet. I'm mailing them. As soon as they turn around, I kick them. But it does take a couple of minutes for it to make it. Jet, thanks for the 2. Thanks, Tug. I love it. What a bring up. Hey, yeah, I like that one too. I thought that one came out really good. So I appreciate it, man. No problem.
Put down in writing. I did a blank job of it as well. Okay. So I believe they absolutely need legal representation. And I think any legal representation that gets into this is immediately going to tell them, you better try and settle as soon as possible, because you are not in a good position. So, well, I'm kind of on the other phone.
What really gets me, from the federal case, is one thing. The other stuff that we've seen, when you're looking at the insanity that has gone on with Ohio, like any lawyer worth their salt would be like, what are you doing bothering these people? Why are you getting yourself in trouble anymore? You should not do this kind of thing. Like a lawyer would be like, shut up. Don't say anything anymore. Keep yourself out of trouble. But folks are not.
This is so
they're not telling them that.
Because the judge should have given me and Randy an opportunity to actually speak to see if I'm okay with this. Or you could even say, well, Jeremy, maybe that's on you, because maybe you should have covered it with Randy beforehand.
No, you don't know if that's...
At any which way, the judge asks, is that okay? And Randy says, yes, but this is the absolute last one. We're not going for any more stays. None. It is moving forward.
Judge probably would have.
This is a problem. And the judge
probably would have granted it anyway. I would say it this way. And I get the frustration from Jeremy, very much so. But I would also say that when you want to pick a battle, you got to be wise about picking that battle. And this would be one, you can't win. Although I have to say, this judge has, again, been very nice about, BBB picked everything as a battle. And he really didn't do anything to BBB. Still hasn't. Now, again, it might happen later on, but it hasn't happened yet. Until it happens, I will be convinced that he walked away for free. we will see. If he gets light touched anyway, nothing really happens to him after what he pulled. This judge said he doesn't want to be known as the judge that, the sanctioning judge and more. But what's the other alternative? What will you be known at if you don't do something about that? You'll be known as the lightweight that let this bullshit happen in your courtroom. It's freaking crazy. Mom Bear, thanks for that too. I feel bad saying JC is too stupid. Manipulated? No, I think he's dumb enough. Like there's a level of it. There is manipulation, sure, but you have to be dumb enough to be the patsy. And it's not my place or your place to try to correct this guy, right? But even in that, like me, you, many of us, again, I've tried being helpful to people that would hamstring my life, because again, I feel like there's a certain level, and Jeremy even said just then, they deserve representation. Everybody should have a lawyer in court. These people, they wouldn't stand with that notion if it were up to them to do harm to me or to anyone around myself, anyone I know. So I don't think stupid. I don't think that's too harsh. Manipulated is correct, though. You are right. I mean, there's a manipulation level if they're telling this guy that he doesn't need it, especially when you have, no matter the caliber of them, but you have the word lawyer attached to a few people that are out there at varying levels. They should still be able to tell you need one, period. How do I like your avatar? I went a different route, which love Kentucky. I love it. I think it's freaking awesome. I love it when people like their umbrella ones. I love it. I do. That's awesome, dude. Okay, cat lady, thanks for the 5. Can Randy make a motion of a complex docket to be asking for a change of judge too? I mean, right now, you can make. I don't think it would be a wise move to do anything. Change of judge. They've already moved for you've already had a move for a change of judge once, from the other side. It's still pending. It's still setting. So as far as a change of judge, I'm not sure. I don't know if you could ever get one to work. You take the chance. If you take aim at a judge, by the way, and you're like, hey, I need you to step aside because you're this, you take the chance of truly pissing that judge off, and the judges are supposed to be non-biased. They're not supposed to hold a grudge, but let's be real. They're people. They hold grudges just like everyone else. So, be careful in that. I have been disappointed though. I think this judge, he has definitely held them to a standard, in my opinion, that he has not held these idiots to. And it's kind of disturbing, to be honest, because it doesn't look much like justice. If you want to play the impartial arbiter, then you need to hold people to the exact same level. And that's not what's been happening. Let's continue.
Ask Lynette, you got a problem? Is that okay? 14 days. She goes, yeah, that's fine. And he reprimands her to the point that says, you better get this done as fast as possible. There will be no more stays. So if you don't have legal representation in 2 weeks, you are going to be representing yourself. Crook is going to be representing himself. That's nuts. And man, you better get it done as soon as possible. So there's a strong tone, reprimand, and get it done. And so
do you think
I do believe there will.
Honestly, I want to ask you folks, do you think Cook will go forward without a lawyer? Do you really think he's going to do that? I mean, yeah, I don't care who the clown is behind there telling them, yes, I'll help you file. Ultimately, these people, they have some problems that BBB left behind, like some bad problems. You saw them before. So Fed case number 1, I think they're in a bad way. Again, in a worse way, in fact, I think with Bruce. Do you think that's gonna stick? Because God, if he does, man, what a crazy case this will become. It's already crazy, but you can think of how crazy it can really become. Misbehaving. Thanks for the 6th there. My dongo also joined the Muppet Mafia. Awesome. That's cool there. I'll tell him when he wakes up. What's funny is it looks like a Paw Patrol dog. My daughter, the little one, would love that.
As a matter of fact, I believe if Randy would have
you were speaking our language with
that the judge probably would not have put on another 14-day stay, that it would have went forward. At the other side of it,
I think he would have until it proves me wrong. What is he? Here's the thing again. What has the judge done that has been detrimental to them? He's decided against them before, but when they've done something, begging, like Bruce, for example, let's go with him giving a deadline. A day after he's given a deadline, he files something and asks for more time or this or that, and the judge is always giving it, and that's crazy. But he's done that with everything. So as far as the judge is concerned, I think it goes beyond just a simple issue of him not wanting to be known as something. I think that they need to disprove this indigence BS. I think that's a big issue in this case. I think the judge has attached to certain buzzwords. I think he has believed them, and that can be a problem. I'm not saying it is a problem, but it can be, could be a big one going forward if you're careful. I mean, he's made statement again. He's done stuff that he said, hey, I don't normally do this, but that's just I don't know. It's crazy. I'll continue.
Randy wants to work with the judge for justice to provide me relief.
Well, Randy's also a uber professional. You know, these people take aim at him and try to cause him problems, but he is an uber professional. He has tried to work with Bruce is the kind of person that will do anything to piss on somebody and to make them just beyond mad. Have you looked at the stuff that has been claimed about him and from his own partners in lawsuits? Have you looked at the commentary, him carrying forward? If you want to be really informed, what you should do is look up Bruce in a random search online under news. Just let any article hit, and you'll find him in comment sections, everything. I mean, like the mac and cheese thing is nuts. It's nuts when you look at him and that vendetta that he had on that. Carol, thanks for the 5. Telling millions of human beings, not fans, very sorry that now you have to take a trip down the rabbit holes. Got to go down there. God bless YouTube. YouTube is a wild place. There are a lot of people out there. I appreciate you, Carol. I like your avatar too. I like looking at everybody's Muppet
for what has happened in my life as well. And so there's that balance.
Avatars.
You see how
everybody's been
having
fun with this stuff.
When I'm like, why isn't the judge asking me if I want this stayed? You're not even giving me a chance to talk to my lawyer. Randy isn't as emotionally involved, even though I believe Randy is involved. He's an empath. So you have to eliminate my emotion from it and put Randy up there. Randy goes, sure, that'd be great, Judge. But no more.
That's another.
This is the last one.
That's another thing. The lawyer will do things that they think are good for your case. That's another thing why you have a lawyer, because a lawyer does well for your case. He doesn't. If they're placating you and doing other things, that's not helpful. You know. You want somebody that will do things that they think are in your best interest. That's what John Cook said. You don't want to be filing your own stuff because what might you file? What might you say?
And so I think that's a positive thing that Randy is working with the judge to make these things happen. And yet at the same time, my goodness, they won't stop calling.
I thought that was my phone.
At the same time,
that was my phone
just going off like crazy. At the same time, everybody wants to know what's going on. I'm telling you. At the same time, you know, you set my emotion back and go, just sit, calm down, let me handle it. And that's what you pay a lawyer for. You pay a lawyer because they're not emotionally involved. Although obviously at this point, Randy's pretty emotionally.
Let's see. Will I be on Flashcast this week? Still undecided. I'm planning on. I've got to make a health choice. Like that's the thing. I'm going over there to talk about stuff. I will make sure to tell you tomorrow for sure. But I'm planning on it. And barring any kind of unforeseen health issue, I'm going to go over there and talk about the stupid lawsuit, you know, and to laugh about everything. So I'm planning it. Okay, planning it. Thank you too. Mama Bear, thanks for the 5 there. I watched Fleas for 5 minutes and them dumbfounded. They could only get chat on their phone, but not their TVs, lips included. Oh my God. I just, I can't. I can't watch their stuff. It hurts my brain. It really does. No, it's some of the, it's not just the gaslighting, just some of it is so low IQ, you know, but the gaslighting really does tick me off too. Because they will deny reality. Something can be just, I mean, just honestly, just anything. It's perfect and it won't matter. They'll deny it. You could have 100% like proof of something, they'll deny it. It's nuts. Best friends, what's up? Thanks for the 5. I think I made it working, but can't see a small LOL. It's a, yeah, I think you got a Muppet. Like I said, I got one. I like yours though. It looks good like that. I like that. You know, I actually do like the handheld. That looks good. I think you did a good job there. It's small. I haven't seen it blown up for quality, but as the size there, it looks really good there. It's really good.
Involved us. He's been attacked. His fiance has been attacked. His practice has been attacked. And these people will be held accountable. All right. So the judge then goes on to say that this better get done as soon as possible. And he is extremely concerned that Crook isn't there on the phone call. And he states that the main purpose of this phone call was for Lynette and Crook.
Yeah.
And yet Crook isn't there. And that's a problem. And so the whole main purpose for this call was to see where are we at with legal representation. Now, I thought we were going to get into some sanctions on Deuce.
Oh, no.
You know, we were going to get into sanctions on Crook for his motions that were stricken. You know, I thought we were going to get into other things. But the judge is very clear. Listen, the only thing we're talking about is their legal representation.
Well, the judge, it's so strange because that's not what the judge said you were going to do in the filing, though. So you actually have a good a point in that. The judge said you would cover other business. So he decided, even though he said you cover other business, not to cover other business. I mean, and at the point too, you know, what's really messed up about that is Jeremy had to pay for this. So Jeremy has to pay for the privilege of them firing their lawyer and then Randy setting in, because again, you know, and that's nothing on Randy. He gets paid for his time, but that is the judge wasting money of somebody else. And he has continued to waste time, resources. Again, I think the judge has committed many appealable errors in this. You know, him talking about period, knowing the case in another case. Oh man, I just bringing up other cases like with the two. It's a mess. You can't do that. So we'll see how it comes out. I think he's committed some issues. You think he would look at this and handle it differently, man? And again, I do think that the 14 days, yes, fine. But, you know, when you make people come in, have a status conference, and the only fucking thing you're going to cover is their status for that, why not just have, you know, again, and he's like, hey, all of you need to be here. You know, again, your lawyer be there anyway, but you see what I mean. It's just wasting your money. You could have done this by fucking paper. Could have been like, hey, I'm giving you 2 more weeks, whatever. But nope. And again, he was very unclear in the way that he presented that. That just, I don't know. That really irritates me. Anyway, let's continue. I could rant about. I am not a fan of. I'm not a fan of the justice system. I think it's very unjust most of the time. You know, I think it's hard to get. It's hard to get justice. It's expensive. It shouldn't cost you a bleeding fortune for you to go out and to if somebody ruins your life, you should be able to just go out and be able to do something about it. Again, not to cost you God, what, 300,000 more. I watched a guy spend $200 and something thousand just to get shot down when you got to the anti-slap portion. And that's insane. You know, saw a guy go after, he went after I can't remember if it's 2 or 3 people in a business. They'd gone in, they'd called him a PDF file. They tried to ruin his life. This was a tortious interference only, right? That's all this trial was about. So they get to the trial portion, and even though he's been cost business, fired over this and more, for some reason, the judge is like, not a big deal. So they didn't even get past to where we are now, and that cost $200,000+. It's nuts to see
Emphasize
this.
that because Randy says, "Can I ask a question?"
It's so crazy.
And Randy goes, "Can I ask a question? What's going on with the pending motions on sanctions?" And particularly why they didn't say Bruce's name or Deuce.
Yeah.
That's what he's referring to. What's going on? And the judge is very, very clear. He goes, "Listen, this thing is on pause. There will be no rulings. There will be no orders until this case proceeds." In other words, he's saying nothing until. So let me put it in layman terms for you. Deuce gets to skate free for about 2 more weeks.
Hey, I've got a raider real quick. I'm going to show her something real quick. Hey, look, I've been making people Muppets. Look, I took these people. Look, little girl and her doggy.
That
You like
kind of
that?
looks like me.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, older than you though. But look, I made Muppets of them.
And
What do you think? Look at all the other people. Look, there are people. They have their doggy. Look here, see their doggy. I made it a Muppet. And look, this is their doggy, and I made it a Muppet.
Why did I trying to drive?
I guess it wanted to go to the store. Yeah, look,
Isn't
that nice?
Food.
You like those?
Yeah.
Aren't they cute?
Yeah, but I saw one at the bottom. Did you see that one?
Yeah, I saw a bunch of them. This one's developing right now. By the way, can you say thank you, Mark? We forgot to thank Mark.
Mark.
Yeah, we forgot to thank Mark last time. So
Sometimes like they people too.
yeah, well, I didn't. I forgot to do that though. That was my fault. Okay. Can you say, hey, by the way, thank you to the Floofy Cat? Here,
Thank you, Floofy Cat.
That's gross. Don't pick those up. Don't pick that one up. That's very gross. That's it. That drink is not good.
Yeah, I gotta pick it
Can you
up.
say thank you to the Floofy Cat?
Thank you, Floofy Cat.
Yeah.
I love that name.
Floofy Cat. I know. Floofy Cat said you were an honorary cat. Did you know that? Yeah.
I do like cats.
I know you like cats. So you get to be an honorary cat. You're a cat now too. Do you like that idea?
Yeah, what was a bug on there? I hope you see
I saw that little tiny bug flying. Yeah, it's where the door was open today. Remember when I went out to check the mail?
Yeah.
That's where the bug came in.
And there was a bug in the kitchen, a house bug.
Mm-hmm.
And Sissy and I wanted a bug. Look, money.
Monies? Oh, yeah. Well, let's see. Oh, yeah. There's somebody thanking me for the Muppet there. There's Wheezy Wheels. Can you say thank you, Wheezy Wheels?
Is that money for me?
Yes, it is. Can you say thank you?
Thank you. I love that money. I love you, Witchy. You know I like money. And
I know. We all like it. There. All right. Well, hey, go upstairs, though. You got to go upstairs. Give me a hug. Give me a kiss. I got to finish what I'm doing, okay? Give me a kiss on my cheek. Thank you. I love you. You are a very good girl. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Close my door, too, okay?
I'm walking really slowly so I don't fall.
No, you're fine. Make sure you, make sure that door's closed, though, so it doesn't, so I don't hear it from upstairs, all the noise up there, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you, kiddo. Here we go. One second.
Remind me to do my pencil thing.
Okay.
Check all the pencils.
All right. I'll remind you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To walk.
Okay. I'm turning this back on. Go up. There you go. Thank you. Love you.
And then once this case is active again, then you're going to find out what's going to happen to Deuce. With the sanctions, with his pro hoc vice status, everything. Now, you also understand a lot more things have happened today. Even in a live chat this morning, Deuce was calling Randy a clown when he declared in federal court. Oh, I didn't ever call him a clown, and yet here he is in a chat calling him a clown again.
That's what he did.
Yeah,
oh, by the way, apparently,
court, isn't it? It's not like we don't have everything. It's not like
that Northport. So apparently, from what I read, again, I have to read all of the decision, but from what I'm reading, you remember that woman from Northport that was a lawyer that BBB decided he was going to go target her job? Well, the bar said there's nothing wrong with that. Isn't that fascinating? Huh? So for him to write and to try to ruin someone's life, that's all good under law. Okay, remember that. So, people are sent a message about that too. Really, the message has been so far that it doesn't matter how bad these duplicitous pieces of shit act. If they do get kicked out, they go to prison or whatever, they just come back worse. You know, I mean, you're dealing with some awful freaking human beings. Awful. They're all shades of the same awful too. But yeah, that's apparently okay. Like, well, that's interesting then, isn't it? So, because what that is a message to everybody saying, that's okay for anybody to do, to whomever. The bar is absolutely useless, though. I've learned that over time. The bar, they are a joke. Their standards that they supposedly have and they maintain, the ones that are supposed to hold people accountable. Yeah. You have lawyers that do some of the worst shit ever, and nothing happens to them. It's crazy.
Like they don't know we're screenshotting everything, screen recording everything, and they just pile more evidence and evidence and evidence and evidence and evidence and evidence.
Now they think there will never be a consequence. When I see it happen, I'll believe there's a consequence. But until then, I have no faith. And I'm glad that Jeremy has more faith than I do, And again, I don't mean to sound negative about that stuff. I do think he has a very strong case. He puts it in front of a jury. I think he's going to get to a jury with at least federal case 1. Now, again, I don't know how everything ties and what will happen with everything else, but I think federal case 1 is, of course, that judge has said it's going. So I'm feeling pretty good with that, right? But the other stuff, we'll see how it argues. Bruce made such a mess of federal case 1. Like his client should be pissed off. They would be, they end up getting in trouble. They will throw him under the bus. You watch. I guarantee they will throw him under the bus if they end up getting anything against them. They will. But that's one thing I'm waiting for too. I want to see that. But Jeremy's right. I mean, the amount of proof is staggering. The things that we can prove about these is staggering that they have done. You usually can't find the level of it. But with this, proof hasn't been an issue, You have plenty of it. And they continue to do crazy stuff daily. It's just nuts, man. Let me see here. Weezy Wheels, by the way. Thanks for the 10. A little something for the Tuglets. Thank you. She thanked you as well. She saw that. I'm glad she got down what she did for that. The Floofy, thanks for the 5. The Overlords want Tug to ensure to take time for himself, his health, and family. Indeed. Thank you. Appreciate that. Tuna money is gifted. Yeah. Etc. Healing purse to Tug, Bug, and Love. Well, thank you. I definitely do. Part of my time off is doing this stuff. It gets a lot of things out of my head. I like to do this. This is my free time thing that has become a job. So it does allow me time. Like right now in the middle of the night, in the day too, I've gotten to spend the day with the kids. We got to watch movies, goof off. Today was like it was partially schooling and partially goofing off and having fun. So I got the oldest. I wanted to assign her a book. I've been telling her that she needs to read the Portrait of Dorian Gray. So I ended up getting. I always love that book. So I gave that to her. By the way, if your Muppet comes in and remember that's AI. Like I said, some of them are spot on. They're all fun though. They're all good. I think everyone has come in, but I don't decide any kind of details. Oh, well, I think they're pretty good. I think we made about 60 tonight.
I mean, they literally are handing it over to us. You understand Now, some of you can be thinking, well, Jeremy, you're talking about it. You say things. I don't break the law. There's a massive difference.
Well, you can.
This side over here, that's legal.
You can make fun of people. You are not obligated to nicety. This is the this is the issue here. All right. You can make fun of people. You can call them an idiot, a clown, a moron. But you can call them, pretty bad stuff. The thing is, when you start accusing them of things like being a PDF file, you have a problem there. That is the one thing that might actually get you in trouble out of anything. And we'll have to see. By the way, I forgot to pull that down. The Floofy Cat, I do appreciate you, buddy, though. Weezy Wheels also. Yeah, thank you on that. Maggie, thanks for the month there. I love my Muppet. Hi, little one. Thank you too, Maggie. You appreciate it. Adair, thanks for the 5. Your freeze frame has been so funny with Jeremy. I know. He has the funniest expressions anyway. I love some of his expressions. They're so crazy. Weezy Wheels, thanks for the membership too. Thank you, Weezy. I appreciate you. And Tammy, thanks for the month there. 2Ps just posted 6K. Yeah, I saw the thing was raised. I did. And again, there should, if they're not going to spit out after 56K anyway and pay that. But like I said, their well donor probably put that in because it has no self-respect. That's it. Lynette Preston treats you like shit. Here's some more money. Thank you for the privilege, ma'am. It was funny. She used that guy as part of her victim narrative. It's captured in commentary. She said that he was abusing her and she didn't know why. Oh shit. That guy's the one to get money, man. It could be a lot of people, man. But I love that dude. So many of these people are fucking crazy, though. They just don't. Honestly, a lot of these folks do. They don't care if there's proof of something. They honestly don't. I mean, again, you have people out there on the microphones, like Ray, for example, who again lies and tells people that 4 years they were in prison from a simple search. Don't you do that kind of stuff. Don't you read the documents either. Don't make up your own minds there. Just listen to these people sit on the microphone and talk a bunch of BS. Don't look it up yourself. Because if you look it up yourself, you might see something that they don't want you to see. You might actually get the feeling, again, if Jeremy was over here recruiting fraud, extortion, if somebody had a fraud and extortion record, could you imagine the way that would be if he recruited someone, started fundraising for them? Could you imagine? But somehow that's okay. It's another day in the ecosystem, man.
This side over here, this is illegal. This is what they do, illegal. This is what I do, legal. I don't break the law. Okay, so judge emphasizes, listen, it's on pause. We're not making any rulings, no motions whatsoever until this thing is active again. Once it's active, and literally he's stating, we're not going to talk about this. I'm not going to talk about it. We're on a pause. We're on a stay. So it can't be talked about. And again, I'm in the background going, listen, I want relief. I want justice. I want my life back. And I want, these people to behave appropriately. Anybody has the right to live anywhere they want, whether it's across the street from me, and I have the right to sell my property if I want, because I don't want these freaks by me. But you don't have the right to defame somebody and constantly harass them illegally, which is what is happening. And a lot of that is going to be dealt with in Ohio court here very soon, very, very soon. And so the judge asked Lynette, is that okay? 2 weeks, we hit the ground running, we're proceeding no matter what. Lynette goes, yep, okay. So that is, in essence, what happens. The judge orders an extended stay. He said, "You still have motion for me. It's going to be an extended stay for 14 more days. Then we're going to have another status call, and then we're moving forward no matter what." So a 20-minute call filled with massive amounts of horrible audio, filled with Crook not even being there. Lynette stating that she goes by Michelle. She has no responsibility, no tie to John whatsoever. And we got no information on the sanctions and the rulings, except
That's bizarre, isn't it?
they're coming. And they're coming extremely soon. 14 days, 2 weeks.
We will see what happens with that, you know. Again, props to Jeremy for being able to deal with all this crazy, dude. Ugh. I feel bad for the man. I do. I don't even know. I don't know sometimes how people outside of these spheres, how they see this stuff, you know. And I'm talking about YouTube. Like, I see people say, you know, the same shit that people like Milto say about what'd you expect to happen to you? You're a YouTuber. Man, no, fuck all that. And fuck all these people that do this horrible stuff to people, you know? Like that's not an excuse. It's not. But anyway, tomorrow, I think we'll goof off and have some fun tomorrow. Let me I've got a few more super chats. I like catching them up today because we could keep them mostly in the moment. Again, a few of them didn't flow in right off the top. Who's live today, by the way? Tish, excuse me, Tishy, no gamer. Thank you. It took me a minute there. I was like, oh, my voice won't work. Thanks for the 5 there. Book fun for Buck. You're an awesome dad, Tuck. Thank you. Yeah, I love I love to read. I've always read. You know, as a kid, I read, and middle school they used to run they used to run book competitions. And my mom laughs about this because one year they called my mom to make sure that all the books I was saying that I was taking home and reading, I was actually taking home and reading. And they made me they did a school competition. You know, how many books can you read or whatever? And I can't remember. It was an obscene number. And they made me take like a little quiz after each one. You know, nobody else had to do that, but I was claiming so many. They were like, no way. You know, and that's not to be like, oh, look at me. Just say I like to read. I've always enjoyed reading, and I want my kids to be able to read. You know, I think you do yourself a disservice not to. It's not just imagination, you know, vernacular. It's vastly improved, and you're also your thinking skills, your deductive skills. So, Gordon Witt, thanks for the 20 there. Here's some weekend cash for the Tuggets. Thank you there. Love your show, sense of humor and compassion. Well, I appreciate that. You know, we try to have some fun here. We try to have a good time, but also we try to remember that things are serious too, for sure. Thank you for that. What's up, AJ Stone? Thanks for the 5 there. AJ, you want a Muppet too? Mail me, I'll get you a Muppet if you want something. Just pick out an avatar. If you have a random thing that you use as an avatar, I'll try to turn it into one too. You know, I'm caught up right now, so I probably won't do any more tonight. But if somebody mails me, I'll catch them while we live stream. Tomorrow we'll probably watch I'm thinking about doing that Shara video. I really want to go through her video. Like, we're behind with Shara, and she has a lot of stuff. You know, let me look at something real fast too before we do anything else. I'm gonna look up Shara. Oh man, Just J Hip is live. I didn't realize he was people watching today. So I didn't realize he'd been up today. So we will redirect to Just J Hip today. Make sure that when you go over there, you give him some love. 1 second. I gotta set the redirect up. Got a couple super chats there to cover. I like Just J Hip though. He's a nut, you know. So he's a lot of fun to watch. People watch is fun too. So AJ Stone, thank you for the 5. Muppet Trivia, a prototype version of Grover. Appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show. I didn't realize in 67 Gleep, and that's an interesting name. Like that. Oh, Lindy, thanks for the 249. Thank you, Tug. Love my Muppet, my puppy Muppet. I like it too. I thought that one came out really good. I liked it. I think the dogs that we've made are actually really good. You know, I think they've come up good. I remember, like I said, with the Shara stuff, people need to check out her channel. It is not, it's not been good. You know, the numbers, they're not showcased because her titles, you know, she doesn't think about numbers or exposure or whatever. She just wants to get truth out there, and that works, but people have to know it's there. So I would encourage folks, you know, to go watch her stuff, give it a few watches if you want, let it play in the background, and do that for Jeremy stuff too, you know. In total, I've seen about 5 minutes combined with negative videos on Jeremy. His self-control astounds me. I've been in jail a long time ago. Well, he definitely, he said a couple of times that he wishes he would have had more self-control with people threatening him. You know, when a guy comes up on his property threatening him, and I'm like, man, you know, that's astounding. That you go in and you look at your actions with somebody doing that to you. You know? I thought he did very well considering some of the stuff these people have done. You know, like you said, threatening the people you care about, trying to do harm to you is so gross, man. So gross. But there are a lot of people that do stuff like that. Anyway, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to jump out of here. Appreciate you all. We will probably continue tomorrow. I'm planning on it anyway. So see you. Appreciate you.